green forested hills that you can see here in the visual are in raised magos, which are rapidly turning into concrete jungles. It's a fast growing trend across Goa. Second homes and real estate boom is the new reality in the tourism state of Goa. The boom threatens the cultural and the environmental ecological ethos of Goa. What will be the effect? Can Goa carry the load of this kind of a boom, a real estate boom? Hello and welcome to Ground Zero on Herald TV, and this episode we are going to talk about the real estate, the second home boom that Goa is right now facing.
We need a very scientific, comprehensive studies of carrying capacity. How much capacity one can carry? So I think Goa should be after some time called as Delhi's extension. So everybody from north wants to come to Goa.
A former union minister's call for a study to determine Goa's carrying capacity is not just an eye-opener, but an alarm bell for the state. Suresh Prabhu's remark that Goa is becoming an extension of Delhi is proving true every time a mega developer advertises properties with phrases like "Conquer Goa." Why is it necessary for Goa to have a carrying capacity report? While rental yields across the country grow at a modest 3 to 4%, a report by real estate consultancy firm Savills India shows that returns in Goa are as high as 4 to 10%. The report highlights high demand for gated villas along the coast, particularly those between 2,000 and 4,000 square feet. Another interesting fact highlighted in the report is the significant surge in capital value of villas in Goa. Grade A villas saw a 33% increase in prices, rising from rupees 15,667 per square foot in Q2 2022 to rupees 20,914 in Q2 2023 and further to rupees 25,504 in Q2 2024. Grade B villas also experienced growth, with prices increasing from rupees 12,667 per square foot in Q2 2022 to rupees 15,001 in Q2 2023 and reaching rupees 19,500 in Q2 2024. These figures have attracted the real estate industry to Goa, offering lucrative investment opportunities. Mega projects like Bhutani, DLF and Abhinandan Lodha have set their sights on Goa's land. Lakhs of square meters of land will soon turn into residential projects. But can Goa survive the onslaught of massive migration while protecting the basic needs of native Goans? According to the Power Minister Sudhin Dhavlikar, Goa faces a power shortage of 125 megawatts with a daily power requirement of 700 megawatts. Goa's power needs will soon surpass 1,200 megawatts. Though Goa receives ample rainfall, water levels in the dam plummet rapidly in summers. The 850 MLD water used for drinking purposes barely meets demand. What will happen when projects of 700 households, 2,000 households come up in Goa? The effects are already seen in Murmugaon.
इलेक्शन टायमार तुमकां गोंयची पब्लीक जाय आनी आतां मरता तेन्ना कोण पळयता आमकां पंचायती सांगल्यार पंचायत एक्शन घेना पंचायत सांगल्यार पंचायत घेना हे कोण आतां आमी मरपाचें न्हिदले कडेन ताका यो सांग न्ही पळोवपाक अरे थंय रावन सांगलें म्हण जायना पब्लिके पळोवपा जाय न्ही पब्लिके फुडें येवन बाबा खरेंच तुज्या दोळ्यांनी तूं पळयता तेन्ना तुका सत्य दिसतालें न्ही तूं सांगलें म्हणून न्ही कोणें सांगो तें आयकनाका तुमी येया दोळ्यांनी पळया मागीर तुमी सत्य परिस्थिती तुमकां कळटली न्ही सांगलें म्हणून आयकपाचें न्ही सीएमान तर येवन पळोवपा जाय न्ही आपल्या दोळ्यांनी कितें जालां हें कितें तें आनी आतां आमकां बरें ना जालें म्हाजी मांय कॅन्सर जावन मेळ्ळी म्हाजे कडेन मांय कडेन जायनाशिल्लें खुर्चेर उबारना आमी सकयल आयल्या तेंचे श्राप हांकां सुट्टले अरे कितें मनशाक किंमत ना रस्तो कितें रे बरें वायट रस्तो जाय न्ही आमकां एम्बुलन्स येयना हेजे सिलिंडरा गाडी येयना आं कितें फायदो आमकां
गोंयकारांक मेळना पूण भायले कोण आतां तांकां फट करून
गोंयकारांक मेळना तांकां व्हडले बॉडीगार्ड दवरला मरे थंय राखो आमकां मारपाक
Villages like Sankwal and Chikali face existential crisis as hundreds and thousands of people move into residential complexes. At this pace, Goa's prominent green locales will soon become concrete jungles. Locals from Kortali, Sankwal and Chikali complained that developers and government have disregarded their safety and lives.
कोणे चिंतूना ते हुंय वयतले हुंय घालतले ते चितला जाल्यार आमकां सांगतले आसले कशें कोत्ता ते पयल्यान भुटानी कितें सांगता 200 ते 500 आपूण जॉब दितलो ते कोणाक ह्या भायल्या पळय कोण येता बिराडार रावतात तेंकां आमकां न्हू ते आमकां जॉब नाका आमचे जाले 50 क्रॉस आमची भुरगीं हॅप्पी आसलेली जाय आमकां हांगा आमच्या भुरग्यांनी वचोन भायल्या गांवांत रावप गोंया पीस ना वाड्या पीस ना म्हणून आमी इतली कश्टांनी घर बांदलोली ती सोडून भायर वचोन रावप हें आमकां लायक ना आनी आमकां अशें जाल्लें नाका
आतां आमी कितें म्हणून सांगू बाबा भितरसून तेंच्यांनी कितें नाटकां केल्या म्हणून आमी कितें म्हणून तुका सांगू आमकां कांयच खबर ना न्हू तेंच्यांनी कितें केलां आनी कितें तें आमकां कशें कळटलें आमच्यांनी कितें सांगू येता बाबा कितलो लोक येता आनी आतां मागीर त्रास फुडें त्रास जातलेच न्हू मागीर कितें जायत आनी
उदकाक बिदका लागून एवढे सकयल उदक देवान येयल्यार
ह्या वाटेन अंदू पळय पावस खूब येयला ते आमचे सगळे घसघशांनी उदक त्या वाटेन दुर्गमालान खंयच्या वाटेन उदक
आणि या मोदी कडेन तुमी पावया कित्याक तेजी कानार न्ही गरीब लोकांचे कोण काय घालिना मोदीची कानार कोण घालिना.
आणि मांद्र्या कितलेशे 30 काय 40 बोरवेल तेंच्यांनी मारून सकयल्या गांवांत जे बांयी आहात न्हू त्या बांयीक उदक ना हे एक्झाम्पल ऑलरेडी सेट जाला कितें आणि आता हे इतले जावन सुद्धा गोंयचो सीएम भेरेपणा करता कित्याक ते म्हाका कळना. अरे जेन्ना गांवचो लोक उठला आणि गांवचो लोक निशेध करता कितें रे की हो प्रोजेक्ट आमकां नाका म्हणून जाल्यार तुमी हो जबरदस्ती कित्याक हाडपाक सोदतात रे. आणि डेट टू भितून कोणाची बायची हे जमीन आहा खंय तेची आतां सांगला तेची जमीन भितून आहा आणि तेची जमीन तेंच्यांनी कॅप्चर केल्या कळ्ळें तुका. आणि ही दादागिरी करून जमिनी कॅप्चर करून हो क्रायम मरे ही फॉर्जरी जाली मरे हेचेर इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन जावपाक जाय पयलीं. सगळ्यात पहिली ती प्रॉपर्टी कोणाची गांवांतल्या कोणाची नावां आसात कितें ते सगळे इन्क्वायरी जावपाक जाय. हो भुतानी खंयसून येयला तो पयली इन्क्वायरी करा त्याचे पयलींचे प्रोजेक्ट कशे आहात न्हू ते पयली इन्क्वायरी करा. आयज हे जे मायग्रंट बिल्डर्स जे गोंयान येयल्यात न्हू हे भायले स्टेटीक काबार करून आतां गोंयान येयल्या गोंय काबार करपाक.
This video was taken in Lavasa, a hill city near Mumbai, which was built in a manner similar to the projects in Goa. A large landslide occurred in Lavasa in July, destroying 3 bungalows in its path and killing 2 residents. Villagers in Sankwal and Reshmagosh are worried that they may meet a similar fate.
आणि आमचे घर तेकोन आहा न्ही आमकां चड त्रास जाता हे रातचे बिचे बरे रातचे येयला आमी न्हिदले आसतना कशें कळटा.
लास्ट टाइम लोट येयल्लो पळय तो रातचोच येयलो
बरो ना सकाळी घरा उदक येता तेन्ना कळ्ळें. गोवाचे खंयचे आमी 15-16 वर्सां पयलीं आमी झगडली केसी एमटेका टायमार केद व्हडलो इश्यू जाल्लो आमकां भितर सुद्दां घातलेली परिकरान सोडून हाडलेली आमकां आमी हे आसा
आनी आमी एक कितें हांगा करतले आमकां
तुमकां सांगू आतां आमी लायटीचे आमी लिगली करून घातल्यार वर्स मायज जालें वर्स मायज जालें आमी लिगली करून घातल्यार सारकें पंचायतीन घेतला हितून डिपार्टमेंटान इलेक्शन हितून डायरेक्ट लायटीच्या डिपार्टमेंटान घातला आजून पासून आमकां लायट येवना.
Goa is right now under some kind of stress for a reason that so many people are living in Goa, more than ever. And if you ask somebody in Delhi, where do you live? He said, I don't. Sometimes I go to Delhi, but I normally live in Goa. So I think Goa should be, after some time, called as Delhi's extension. So everybody from north wants to come to Goa. Every officer, when he retires, he wants to come to Goa. Nothing wrong with that. Goa is part of India. Anybody has the right to go anywhere they want. Can Goa take so many people? So these are the kind of people who want to come and stay in Goa. In addition to that, there are tourists which come into Goa. And actually, as I said, first we cannot stop anybody from coming. Tourists we should welcome, because if tourists don't come, then what will happen to the economy of Goa? Common people's livelihood depend on agriculture, horticulture, fisheries and tourism. All of this cannot be carried out if Goa doesn't have a proper ecological life. Tourists come here because Goa is so beautiful, and in the quest of making it more, add more and more infrastructure, if you keep adding that, obviously this is under stress. So because infrastructure cannot be made in the air, you need land for that. And Goa is very small land mass. The minister should work with the government of Goa and prepare carrying capacity study. How much load Goa can take to ensure that fisheries, to ensure that agriculture, to ensure that sustainable tourism, to ensure that normal good mining practices are followed, and therefore this is not a choice between economy and ecology. Can you not develop economy and ecology working in hand? How can that happen so that Goans will not lose their ability to create more livelihood for them?
RTI activist Narayan Naik says that after Kadamba Plateau and Zuari Plateau, Chikali and Sakwal are becoming concrete plateaus.
आज जर आमी एकटेन जायना जाल्यार हे फुडें वायनाड जावपाक टायम लागपाना. हेजे कॅरिंग कॅपेसिटी आज ओवरलोड जाल्ले आसा, ओवरलोडेड जाल्ले आसा. तेन्ना विचार करचो.
What happens to Goa if these projects become reality? We spoke to Dean DeCruz, a senior architect who was part of the Regional Plan 2021 exercise. He said that real estate development in Goa is just build and sell, with no responsibility for what happens after that.
Dean, in the recent 15-20 days, it has so happened that there are some very big ticket projects with 700 villas or 700 swimming pools, thousands of flats that are coming up into Goa, and it has gained a lot of attention of Goans. Goans, as you see, they're very connected to the roots. So, can you tell me whether the state has the capacity to take this kind of infrastructure and then later on survive it in the long run?
Yeah, it's a big problem that's taking place now, because when you look at development is based on how much infrastructure you have, whether it's water, power, road widths, and also your infrastructure, hospitals and schools and everything. So it's important that the infrastructure actually comes first. And whenever you look at development, the state has to look at the local population, the local existing population. So if you say, for example, you look at tourism, for example, so it should benefit local population. So if you look at models like Costa Rica, which has actually done a tourism proposals where they first look at how the local people can benefit. So they keep small scale hotels, they integrate, the government is actually more like a facilitator rather than controlling the whole thing. So in a similar way, we can actually control the way, say, tourism develops in Goa. Unfortunately, we seem to have missed the boat, and it's gone in a completely different direction.
The ravaging of Resh Magosh Hill is another example of how green covers are vanishing in Goa. Activist Rajesh Dabolkar says that the environmental impacts of these projects will directly affect villagers at the foothills.
फुडें कितें जातलें ते प्रोजेक्ट येयले उपरांत ते आमचे सद्या गांवची हानी जालीच आसा. उरलो उदकाचो प्रश्न, लायटीचो प्रश्न, रोडाचो प्रश्न आनी गार्बेजचो प्रश्न. हे ते जे चारय गोश्टी आसा हे आमकां गांवांकूच ते सरकार दिवंक शकना. जेन्ना प्रोजेक्ट समज येयल्या उपरांत आमकां कितें फेस करचो विचार कर. ज्या प्रोजेक्टाक 10 मिटराचे रस्ते जाय ते आमचे 6 मिटराचे रस्ते आसा आनी ते 10 मिटर जावूंच शकना कित्याक इतके रस्ते नॅरो आसा. उरलो उदकाचो विशय जाल्यार इतको गंभीर आसा की वर्सान जाल्यार फेस करता. एवरी इयर म्हणजे फेस्टिवल आसता तसो आमकां उदकाची टंचाई आसा, तो सुटावो हेंचे कडेन जायना. रस्ते तुका सांगलें. उरलो गार्बेजचो प्रश्न, थंय आमकां मोठो. चवथो लायटीचो प्रश्न. जर तरी गांवांकूच दिवंक शकना जाल्यार जेव्हा 2800 कोटीचो ज्या जाग्यार प्रोजेक्ट आसा पळय तेका दिल्या उपरांत आमकां कितें उरतलें?
Town and Country Planning Minister Vishwajit Rane stated that they cannot control how Goa is being advertised across India. Except for passing the buck, Chief Minister Pramod Sawant had no satisfactory answer to the fierce scale of real estate development in the state.
And I have already written a letter to Honorable Chief Minister today to please instruct the respective officials. I have written, I just little draft करून आणि मुख्यमंत्रीकडे त्यांच्याकडे वेळ बी घेऊन त्यांच्याकडे पर्सनली मेळटलो की काही कडेन जे कितें अंदाजुंदी कोण तरी करता, जे कितें कोण विदाउट लॉ, विदाउट फॉलोइंग एनी काइंड ऑफ रूल्स रेग्युलेशन्स जे कितें करता तेजेर कारवाई योग्य ते डिपार्टमेंटान आनी योग्य ते ऑफिसरान करपाची गरज आसा.
हिल कटिंगाची परमिशनां हांगासर म्हाका परत एकदां सांगता रितसर म्हणजे टीसीपी आसत किंवा आयपीबी आसत जो कितें आपली परमिशनां सगळी म्हणजे कन्वर्जन करून कन्स्ट्रक्शन लायसन्स घेवन एखादो प्रोजेक्ट बांदपा खातीर परमिशन्स घेता पळय न्ही ती परमिशनां आसा. हांगासर खंयसर तो वड ओवर म्हाका कातरूंक जाय हेजें वेगळें परमिशन कोण दिना. प्रोजेक्ट डेव्हलप करपा खातीर रितसर प्रोसिजर्स कंप्लीट करून हिल कटिंग म्हणून वेगळें परमिशन कोण दिना, कोणूच दिना. कोण दिता? ही फक्त परमिशन केन्ना दिता सांगता डेट इट इज एन रिस्की जर आसत जाल्यार डेप्युटी कलेक्टर दिता.
Dean DeCruz said that if Goa intends to sell itself as a green destination for tourism, it first needs to protect its greenery.
Yeah. So I think when we look at this term called carrying capacity in tourism, we've shot past it 10 years ago. So right now it's a very I mean, it's consuming really the resources of the state much faster than you can actually restore it. So we have to look back and say where have we gone wrong, how can we correct it, what's happening, say, in casinos or this drinking type of tourism, this part. It's really changing the whole ethos of the place. It's affecting the lifestyles of the local population, and so it's important that the government says how do we, if we are selling this as a special destination which has this great history of many cultures coming through it, or this green state which has great ecology in the place, we first need to protect that, no?
Right.
Then, by defining what we need to protect, then only we create a tourism policy that.
When you said green tourism, I come back to that one point that I want to touch upon in this entire exercise. Goa was and always will be conceived as a green cover, as a nature, a place connected to the nature. But in the bargain of creating these kind of, meaning allowing these kind of projects, we are in fact losing the same green cover that people ultimately get attracted to. So where is the balance in that? Do you think, as an architect, you've seen Goa, the metamorphosis of Goa all these years? Do you think, is there a balance, and who is the person who can strike it?
So one is, we need to look at villages. When we worked on the regional plan, we realized the village is the model of development. It has the infrastructure, it's got the focal points of the marketplaces, place of worship, the schools. So all these things act for, and then the housing grows around it. And on the edge of the village is where you have your fields, you get your food from, your water from, all these resources. So each village is actually independent. So we treat these village as a model or unit of development, and we slowly let it grow. With the population growth, even if it's to do with, say, people wanting to move to work. We welcome everybody from any part of India.
This is not the future that our ancestors envisioned for the state. An estimate of 9.5 crore square meters of land is said to have been converted from green to brown and will change from brown to concrete tomorrow. It is high time that Goa gets into the exercise of creating a carrying capacity report, which can in turn create a policy for real estate and second homes in Goa. Bureau Report, Herald TV.